Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito, and I'm here to give you the match reaction to the game against Manchester United and Bournemouth. Honestly, we drew, but it felt like a loss. That's why I'm not in any good mood. Um, there's a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to dive straight into it and just talk to you about what I saw and a few things that were baffling and you could say weird. But okay, we had our starting lineup. First of all, before I get into the starting lineup, I need to mention that again we are plagued with injuries. Injuries seems to be the common denominator with Manchester United this season. We can't seem to escape it. We can't seem to get away from injuries. And so our starting lineup and even the players that were on the bench was a mixed match. You know, it was almost as if we were set up to fail. Um, I understand Erik Ten Hag's some of his decisions, but I also don't understand some of the decisions that he made. I have questions, and yeah. So the starting lineup, as usual, we had Onana in the goals, and then in our back four we had Dalot on the right, Maguire and Kambuala in the middle, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka at the left, and in the midfield we had Casemiro and Kobe Mainu together with Bruno up top to create that three. And then our attacking trio was made up of Rasmus up top with Rashford on the left and Garnacho on the right. Now, already from that starting lineup, I'm sure a lot of you have got questions and you're wondering why a certain player started that game. I mean, the other players you can understand, but one player in particular was a player that we have complained about this whole season. He hasn't stepped up. He continues to rub the fans the wrong way. I can count only one moment in the game that I could say that he really showed something, but again, it wasn't enough. You know, the time when um, we had the ball, Ahmad created a chance and we were moving down the right, coming in, and then the ball got to Rashford and then he lost it. I think they crossed the ball to him and then he lost it. And in that moment, I think all the complaints about what everybody have been saying, like Rashford doesn't track back and everything like that, because it was unlike him. You know, he chased the guy that took the ball. He chased the ball right up until our half and tried to disturb it, and then that was it. But that was the only moment, and that is something that we need on a consistent basis, on a regular basis with our players, especially our wingers. Tracking back, it's a very, very important thing, and I'll mention why. So Bournemouth yesterday attacked us mostly from the right. And on the right, Garnacho and Dalot were responsible for that flank. There was a crazy miscommunication that just didn't I didn't understand. I don't understand what Dalot's positional I don't know what Dalot's instructions are as a defender. Because this conversation or this topic about Dalot and Aaron Wan-Bissaka has divided the fan base to a certain extent. I have been of why are people trying to get rid of Aaron Wan-Bissaka and nobody's talking about Dalot. Now, don't get me wrong, Dalot has been all right this season, and I have been consistent by saying that I don't see. I guess we're seeing things differently. I don't see the wow performances that Dalot seems to be giving that you guys are seeing, but I think in these past three games, Dalot has been responsible for our losses in a very strange way. Now, I don't pin everything on him, but he's contributed to the mistakes that have happened in the dying seconds or in the game. So, from yesterday's game, there was a miscommunication with Dalot and Garnacho, whether it was Garnacho's positional sense in terms of defending the attackers that are coming in before Dalot. But again, Dalot was not on his position; he was more tucked in. So I don't know if that is Dalot's fault or the manager's fault because he has been doing that a lot this season. He has been caught off his position a lot this season, and people are not picking up on it. I don't understand how. If you want to compare the performances between him and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, it's day and night. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I can say with my chest right now that he is the one player that has improved his attacking output as compared to what he was before. We're not going to even question his defensive capabilities. Some of the things that he has are mistakes. For me, they are mistakes. Some of you, the big calamities, you want to lose your mind. But his overall performances, if you look at what Aaron Wan-Bissaka does, you are always comfortable with his flank. You don't even worry. You don't even think about it because he's got that handle. And for me, this season, I've been worried about Delo. I have. He has had good performances there and here, but then Delo is supposed to be this hybrid, revolutionized wing back, the modern day wing back, the wing back that puts in crosses after crosses after crosses, and a wing back that can chase, back and defend. That is decent in defending. At least be decent in defending. He's all right. His attacking output is not that great. It's not that amazing as compared to the Robertsons and uh, uh, the Kyle Walkers or the Odogis or the Pedro Poros. You understand what I mean? That consistent feeding our attackers. We don't get that. We get that momentarily, that moment where you put in a cross and it's like finder. Whoever gets it, gets it. Either it's too much or it's too short. Like he has never put in consistent crosses. And we know he's capable of that. We know that he's got a whip on that. So the low these past 3 games, I think starting from Chelsea has been has dropped in form. I don't wanna shit too much on him. I don't wanna go in too much on him because I know a lot of people love him. So I'm just going to just say like I have not been impressed, and he has contributed heavily in the goals that we've conceded in the past 3 or 4 games. And that alone is a problem. Now we can't really go in on Dalot because we don't have defenders. Who is going to play if Dalot doesn't play? So that was the main issue yesterday. The attacking all came from Dalot's flank. I don't know if Bournemouth figured it out or they realized something that we didn't know. And a lot of I know some people are going to be like, but why did the manager take off Garnacho instead of Rashford? You know, and I also agree with that question because I don't actually believe that Rashford was supposed to start that game. So if there was anybody that was supposed to come off that game, it should have been Rashford and not Garnacho. But I understand in the moment why the manager took out Garnacho because contrary to popular belief, whether you guys want to believe it or not, that first half was a disaster for Garnacho. The first goal, him losing that ball, not being able to control it, and then it going, and then Kambwala not being able to handle Solanke and slipping, and that was Garnacho's miscommunication. Like that was his touch. Now we're not gonna talk about first touches when it comes to professional footballer, but these are the things that happen. Garnacho lost the ball, and then the ball went in, and then Kambwala he slipped and wasn't able to regain his form and handle Solanke. You could easily say that Maguire didn't attack that, didn't try hard enough to stop Solanke, but there was a process that happened all before until that moment. And then when I look at the same time, I look at where Garnacho was and how it was, I mean, where Dalot was and how he wasn't there to support Kambwala or not even anywhere near that area to help slide in or do what you guys love him to do. So that was a problem. And then um, I think the second goal, I think the second goal was similar. It was all on this side. Garnacho losing the ball, Dalot miscommunication, bang, these guys score. And that was literally how it went. Now, this is not to take away from the other performances because Casemiro was dreadful. He was poor. But I have a theory, and I'm going to get into that after I finish with this. But I want to explain something that I found curious about the game. I know a lot of people are not going to talk about it, but I'm going to mention it. So let's talk about the stats of the game. We dominated the game. We had 57 and to their 43. The pass accuracy was 82 to 75, which is strange because we were not good. But one thing that that stood out for me was the amount of shots that we took in or that we received. Bournemouth had 21 shots at us, and we had 9 for them. Now, on target, they had 5 and we had 2. So you could easily say that our 2 were the 2 goals and their 5 were the 2 goals and then the other 3. So it wasn't really good. That conversion rate wasn't really good. But they managed to put out a lot of shots at us, which underlines the problem that we've been having. Why are people ignoring that Manchester United is going through an injury crisis? It's because we are Manchester United that people do not want to listen. They do not want to hear it because we've dominated England for years. So Alex Ferguson bought the referees and all that. So this is our payback. Nobody wants to listen to what Manchester United has to say. When Van Dijk got injured with Liverpool, Liverpool dropped, started losing. They didn't even win the Premier League. They were not even in the race. Nobody said anything. Everybody was like, no, it is okay. But Manchester United gets plagued with these injuries and nobody seems to bat an eyelid. Nobody seems to give a toss. Everybody is like, yeah, sack the manager, do this, do that. It's unbelievable how people are just jumping at Manchester United when the evidence is there. You look at our bench yesterday. Our bench was comprised of youngsters. Like we had 3 under 19 defenders on the bench together with Ahmad. But Ahmad is a tricky one because you don't know if you guys consider him a kid or he's part of the first team. I consider him part of the first team because, like the manager said, if you're good enough, you're old enough, and Ahmad is good enough. So he, for me, is in part of the first team. So I don't think of him as an academy. And then we had Kambwala playing with centre back with Maguire. You can imagine no replacement. 3 defenders on the bench who are kids who haven't even graced the field for the first team were on the bench in case of any kind of emergency. How ridiculous is that? How is it that people are ignoring that? Yes, we had the senior players in Amrabat, Mount, Ericsson, Altai, but these are midfielders and attackers. These are not defenders. We have got plenty of that. What we are lacking is the defense. We've got no defenders. Varane is out. Luke Shaw is out. Licha is out. Lindelof is out. Evans is out. Malasia is out. This is 6 defenders. 6 in the first team. Subs and starters that are not in. Explain that. Now, if I put it like that and you don't get it, then I don't understand what you want us to say. And now we move on to some of the performances of the players. I mentioned Rashford in the beginning that again, another poor performance by him. I don't know what we have to do to get the best out of Rashford. I don't know. I don't know why the manager starts him, which is baffling because we've got Ahmad, you know. We've had Anthony. Anthony was a miss, which was I didn't understand. But Mount is back. I don't know what is going on. Mount is a utility attacking player. You can literally play him anywhere up top. You can. We bought him for this sort of thing to fill in the gaps. Why are we not using him? He's back fit. He's our number 7 for crying out loud. Why is he coming in only 85 minutes left? To do what? To do what? How long is his rehabilitation? Either tell us what's going on, tell us that no, listen, Mason Mount is not 100%, and we are trying to manage his minutes. He can't play 90 minutes, or he can't play 30 minutes, or he can't play 45 minutes. Tell us. Don't let him sit there and we think, what the hell is going on with the gaffer? Why is he not making changes? Because yesterday we needed changes in that game. I honestly felt like Mason Mount coming in there, even Ericsson, who seems to have been forgotten, could have changed the game. Casemiro yesterday was not on it. Now, I mentioned why he was not on it. So here is my little theory as to why as to something that nobody's talking about. And I picked it up, and I don't know why it made sense, and it still makes sense. But yesterday, Bournemouth, Bournemouth, the pitch was wet. Our players were not comfortable. You watch that game, every touch they were making was not confident as compared to Bournemouth. That was their pitch. They know how that pitch works. They know when they've watered it so much or how it looks, or you understand what I mean? They understand their pitch. We didn't. Now, the first goal, Garnacho, control, something to do with the pitch. I know. I'm trying to find excuses for them, but hear me out. Casemiro yesterday was playing as if he was on eggshells, as if he knew that if he got injured, that this team would plummet into disaster. It was a weird one because you think about why the manager is not starting the likes of Amrabat, Ericsson, and then Casemiro not playing to his. He was slipping a lot. A lot of our players, Kambala was slipping a lot. Bruno, they were the pitch wasn't good, but that's not enough of an excuse to put on these players. It is part of it. I do want to acknowledge that the pitch was not conducive for our players. And when I look at them playing, trying to protect themselves, especially when you think about Manchester United and the injuries that we have gone through this season, Casemiro has been on the chopping block, has been on the medical bench this season. I had a feeling that he was playing thinking about that. That's why he didn't have the best game ever. He was there, he was stopping attacks and doing certain things, but he was off. You know, Rashford, I don't even want to talk because I don't know when he's going to get it in his head that pass, give the pass. Rasmus Holland is always there. Give. He is really trying to get that goal. And I honestly think Rashford is going on about it the wrong way because I played the game, I played football. I have this strong belief that the more you give, the more the football gods shine upon you. They look down on you. The more they make things favorable for you. You look at all the great players when they're playing sometimes, when they're in a certain good form, they do things that don't make sense, right? It is because of that positive energy that they're putting in, like that never give in, just going and going, and then together with the gods shining on them and being proud and saying, listen, man, you are putting in a shift. We are going to make things easy for you. Sometimes you see ricochets that don't make sense. A ricochet to a player, and then the ball sticks to his feet, and he continues, and then he goes and scores. Those are not coincidences. Those are certain things that come together. Positive energy, determination, strong will, the gods shining down on you, smiling, saying, you got this, you're going to do it. You know, all these things play a role. His body language is off. He doesn't give. Like, he wants to do so much, but it's not working out. You know, he lost more balls yesterday than I can imagine. You know, and we're not going to talk about that. Garnacho, I don't want to go too much on him because out of all our attackers, he has been the like, no, excluding Rasmus because Rasmus is new. But when I compare him to the senior players that have been here, the seniors, right? Garnacho has easily the standout performance, and he has easily earned his right to be in the starting lineup, to be one of the first names picked on that pitch because he gives everything. He never stops. He continues and continues. Yes, he might make mistakes there and there, but his heart and his drive is to go and make Manchester United great. So I'm not really going to shit on him. It was just another bad day at the office for Garnacho yesterday. But I blame Dalot more because he's more senior. He understands what it is to be a defender. He was supposed to control that situation. If there was anybody that was supposed to instruct Garnacho on what to do and where to cover and what anything, it should have been Dalot. And for me, that for me was I that for me is a no. That for me marks Dalot even more down. Like, what is happening? Now I know we can't bench him because we don't have any other options. But what is going on? Can we stop saying that he's having good games? I was looking at some of the ratings, and Wan Bissaka, Dalo had a better rating than Wan Bissaka. Can someone make that make sense to me, please? Oh, regardless of how you hate Wan Bissaka, how can someone sit here, right now, and say that Dalo had a better game than Wan Bissaka yesterday? How? Even if they've got the same, let's say you've given them a rating of 4. If Dalo gets 4.2 and Wan Bissaka gets a 4, that is bullshit. Do you understand? Wan Bissaka deserves to get more praise because out of our wing backs, he's doing better currently. Yes, he gave away a penalty the other day, but that was a dubious penalty. The Elliott penalty? Nah, nah. I still, up to today, do not understand how such penalties are given. I don't understand. So Delo was not good. Harry Maguire was good. He had a shaky start, but he was good. Him and Kambwala, I mean, for what we have, for what is at our disposal, I think they did a pretty good job yesterday keeping Solanke and Calvert, Justin Clivert at bay, and that Wakadoku guy who was is it Wataru or Wataru? They were causing us problems yesterday, and they managed to do the business, and I'm happy about that. But the midfield was not really. Bruno was all over the pitch as usual, but in a good way, because yesterday we needed somebody to step up, to take the game by the balls and do something. And I think out of everybody or anybody on that pitch, Bruno really, my skipper did the business. He did what Bruno did. It wasn't pretty because the whole team was fucked up. The whole team didn't make sense, but he hey, listen, shit on him, say what you want to say on him. Like, I'm not going to do that. He's my captain, and I believe in him, and I love him, and I know that he does. I know he rubs people the wrong way. And the thing is, Bruno has been consistent. Ever since he started his football career, he has not changed. So I don't know why people are getting their pennies in a twist with Bruno being the way he is. Yes, his performances have dropped, but if you think about his contributions, his goal contributions, he's having the worst season of his career at Manchester United. Some players who are doing extremely well or whatever in their teams are having their best seasons, and he's having a better season than them. So in his worst season, he's doing better than most. So I can't really complain. You understand? I can't really complain because he's actually doing the business. Now I want to jump into the manager. Oh, Kobe Manu. Kobe Manu, steady Eddie. Can't really complain. He was there, but it was just another one of those games where he didn't shine. He was just there. It was difficult. It was a very strange game. And then now we come into the whole debate about the gaffer and his substitutions. Um, we don't know why he took long to make certain substitutions because we felt like Casemiro needed to come off, Rashford needed to come off, Garnacho came off, which we didn't want him to come off because I think if you just switch him, because Garnacho this season has done so well in both legs. Like, he can easily stake his claim in this first team and say, I can be the first choice left back. I can right winger. I can be the first choice left wing. He can easily say that because his numbers don't lie. His work ethic doesn't lie. He has been on point this season. So subbing him was weird in the sense, but again, like I mentioned previously, it made sense. It made sense in the sense that he couldn't. He was just having a bad game. But again, Rashford was having a worse game and he stayed on longer. Why not bring in Mason Mount? You know? Why? Why not bring in Ericsson to try and control the game? Help with the possession. At one point, I saw the manager complaining about, guys, pass the ball. And I was agreeing because we couldn't hold the ball for 5 minutes and play. Whenever we do that, we usually do something good. And I think I've had this conversation with Denda. Like, yes, like the possession plays a huge role in our sense, for us. Because when we have the ball, we tend to make things happen. The longer we keep it, the more confident the boys grow and the more they try to start getting things together. But the longer they stay without the ball, the more useless they become. They literally become the worst fucking players. They drop their heads. It becomes unbelievable, you know. So yesterday I saw the gaffer complaining, saying, "Guys, hold the ball, pass the ball." They were not doing it, and it's like, yeah. So we lost because when you think about the grand scope of things, top four is completely gone. Um, we had a recording that had mysteriously disappeared, but we were talking in that episode with Pastor D, and he was asking me what if I still have hope, and I was telling him that the Chelsea game, that that Chelsea loss was it, because I refuse that loss till today. I do not accept that loss. I blame those players for that loss. Everything that happened in that game, I blame them because we were the dominant side against this Chelsea side that's figuring things out, that has been battered by everybody else, and we let them beat us, and for me, that was the tipping point for everything. We just started going downhill from there. So for me, from that moment till right now, I've just been like, it's gone. So I don't have hope for anything at the moment. I don't even have hope for the Conference League with the way these players are playing right now. Because you think with our injury crisis that we're having, some of the players would step up because they know it is difficult. We don't have options. There's nowhere else to look but forward. Keep on going. Keep on going. The senior players stepping up, saying, you know what? There are 6 games left. Let's fucking win these games. Let's spoil the party for Arsenal. Let's spoil the party for a certain player. Let's beat certain. Nothing. Our goal difference is still shit. It's below again. We have dropped. It's bad. But I'm still supporting the manager. I am not getting rid of the manager because the evidence is there. Our season has been derailed and has been the way it is because of injuries. And if you guys don't accept that, you're going to let everybody else, all the other noise, confuse you because it's easy for them to complain about their issues, but it's not easy for Manchester United. And like I mentioned in the beginning, we are suffering, we are paying the price for the years that we were dominant. Nobody. All the decisions were going our way. Fergie time. People were saying that Sir Alex Fergus, Grandpa Fergie, had some refs in his pocket. A lot of people said a lot of things. So right now, people don't give a shit about Manchester United. They want to see us continue drop and drop and drop. I think it is only at the moment where we are facing relegation where the true footballer lovers would feel some sort of pain. But at this moment, they're like, nah, this is revenge. The tape, how the mighty have fallen. But and I know, the last season with this team, we were third. We won a cup. We got to the final of the FA Cup. We did well. It was not a coincidence. It is a fact. We did it. And we did it. We did it the whole season. That you look at last season, most of our season, we had these players that are missing. We had Casemiro missing most of the season. We had Luke Shaw missing almost the whole season. Licha in and out 3-4 times. Malasia completely out. Varane in and out. Maguire in and out. Lindelof in and out. Evans in and out. We've had 24 to 25 pairings, defensive pairings this season. Imagine that. Where do you find consistency there? Where do you find a rhythm in there? This is what the manager keeps on saying every time in his press conferences, but you're not listening. You're ignoring. You're choosing selective hearing. Yesterday, I missed Scott McTominay. Believe it or not. I don't know if he's injured or what. I don't know. But I missed him. I did. Anthony, I missed him. I'm like, where's Anthony? You know? in a very strange way. I also missed Martial, who I know is leaving this club, you know, because there are certain players that give certain things to this team, and you know, it's just, and what we have right now is just not good enough. It's not good enough. So for me, my hopes for this season is, can it end? Can we get done with this fucking season and start afresh? Can we do that? We're going to fix the problems of the past, which is something that I mentioned in the previous episode since the beginning, last beginning of the season. Um, even Erik Ten Hag's first season, because this is his what, second season, right? His first season, the tour. They went, came back, injuries. We didn't start very well. Our boys were fatigued. There was something wrong with the preseason and the beginning of the season, which should not happen. We are supposed to be ready for the beginning of the season, right? This season, the same thing. Went on tour, came back, same bullshit, you know? So I hope, and again, we're going to America again this season, preseason. I hope there are going to be less games. I hope they're going to figure out that thing, because we can't afford to start the league next season on the back foot. We can't. We need to win our first three games. We need to. That will set us up. That will keep us calm. That will keep the ship steady. And then if you want to fuck up, then yeah, we can draw and stuff. But we need to win our first three games. And if our boys are fatigued, carrying injuries from this season, no rest, and you want them to start. And what if we get a banger next season and the first game is against City or Arsenal or Aston Villa or Newcastle? You know, these difficult fixtures, you know, the kind of fixtures that can really cause an upset in the beginning of the season and derail us, because we lose that game. It sets the tone. The boys look down, they're now thinking, shit, here we go again. Is this it? The confidence goes. You know, football is strange. So I hope they're gonna fix that coming into this season. This season is done. FA Cup, we're still in it. I don't have confidence in us playing Coventry. You know, there's a little thing. The manager for Coventry is an ex-United, I think, manager or something. He was at United. I hate games like this. We're playing at Wembley. We're currently not playing good. I don't know if the players are going to step up because it's Wembley, because that's normally what they do. But they didn't do it last season against City. You know, they slept. So I don't know. I literally cannot tell you what we are going to do. I honestly thought we were going to win yesterday's game against Bournemouth. We're supposed to. We were supposed to, with the amount, like with the players we have on paper, that are attacking on paper, not in real life, not in reality, on paper. You know, so we are. I don't have hope. I don't. I'm still with us keeping the gaffer, but there's a niggling feeling in the back of my mind, and there's this ache in my heart that tells me that he might not make it. In fact, if he lost this game, I would have been very, very worried. You know, because we are treading on those lines right now. We're at that moment where any mistake, any big loss, the manager's gone. Any bizarre, inexplicable, weird fucking performance from the players, and we get smashed, and it looks like the players couldn't give a shit and couldn't be asked. If that happens, he's gone. I sensed it. And it would be so weird and strange because we are at the end of the season. You know, they gave him time. So for me, it's pointless. If you want to get rid of him, it's pointless. I say give this manager a chance. Give this manager a chance. Give this manager his players. His players. You look right now, he's so grateful to Maguire for staying. We wanted Maguire to go. Do you understand how powerful that is? Look at what Maguire is doing right now. He's our sole survivor. He's there putting in a shift for us. And this is the one guy that we were shitting, including myself. But this season, I have given him his props. He's been good this season. But I will not sit here and say that last season I wasn't on Maguire's case. I won't sit here and say that I didn't want him to leave. I did. But you need to think about all these things, and people need to not rush to complain and judge. Yes, there are certain players individually that we can really go in on them because it makes no sense how they're performing. The season is gone. Rashford cannot come back now and start saying that and score all like imagine Rashford starts scoring a goal from now until the end of the season. That's 6 goals. Like, and then from there he will start saying people should shut up. Like, fuck that. Screw that. No, no. The season is over. We've been saying that the season is still far, but now the season is over. It's too late. The teams above us are dropping points. I don't know if these boys are watching and seeing, and I don't know if it's not motivating them to like, we can make it. I look at that Fulham loss. That would have been 3 points. Chelsea, Brentford, we could have won that game. 3.6 points. Chelsea, we could have won that game. 9 points. Nah, we are on 50 right now. We could have been close to 60. Right? And then which other game did we lose? Um, which other game? Forgot. But these are points that we dropped that would have made a huge difference. We probably would have been knocking the door of top four. That's where my hope was, but it got shattered. Like I ignored the Fulham, but then that Chelsea, the Chelsea loss took everything from me, and this is where I am at. I don't have hope. I'm just going through the motions. Um, I don't want the manager to go, but he's also not helping himself with certain things because we look at Amrabat, we look at Ericsson, we look at Mount. They look fit. Tell us that these guys are not 100% fit so that we know it. Don't make it vague. Don't make it seem like these guys can start. No, because when you see the guys playing 90 minutes, like the game going and nothing is changing, and then you think of the creativity that Ericsson has got, the energy and tenacity that Mason Mount has, the dribbling skills and the creativity that Ahmad has, and then the solidity and the compactiveness that Amrabat has. And then you look at what's going on in the game. We lack creativity. We lack somebody taking care of the ball. We lack that compactiveness at the defense. Somebody to shield that defense. Casemiro was off. Why not bring Amrabat in? Do you understand where I'm going with this? These are the things that we are asking. So if there's something wrong with Amrabat, let us know that Amrabat can't play. Amrabat can't play 10 minutes. Amrabat can't play 90 minutes. He can only play 5 minutes. Tell us that. I think that way the fans know that, oh, okay, we can only get 10 minutes out of Mason Mount. We can only get 15 minutes out of Ericsson. We can only get this amount of minutes out of this guy, this guy, this guy. And you know what's crazy? Because I watched this documentary from Man City, and this is completely good, going off topic, but I'm trying to make a point. They were, they were the Champions League final, I think. They're talking to the team, are having this team talk, and Pep Guardiola has given the starting lineup to everybody, the staff and everybody. He's given the starting lineup. He's like, you guys deserve to. We did this. We got to this moment because of everyone. So everybody needs to be a part of this. So he gave the starting lineup way ahead of time in the hotel with everybody that works with City. And then he mentioned, don't get mad because you know what? Calvin Phillips, you're going to come in for 10 minutes and do this. Foden is going to come in and do this. This guy's going, he said that. And when I saw that, I was like, wow. You see, that makes sense to me. You know, if you can communicate better with the fans and let them know that this is how it is, no, we can't. Then they know, then they sit here. But then now we are sitting here. We look at Casemiro struggle. We look at Rashford struggling and not giving a shit. We see this guy struggling as well. And then we look at those players there on the bench and we ask ourselves, why are you not playing? Why are you not being called up front to come and play? These are the questions that we ask ourselves as fans, and this is the thing, this is the frustration. So let us know what each of our players on the bench is capable of. I think that will ease the minds of the fans. I truly believe that will ease the minds of the fans. But other than that, it's tough times. This has been a very disastrous season. It's not been good. We've had moments. You could easily say that we have scored arguably some of the best goals this season, but fuck it. So, we've got Pushkas worthy kind of goals that it's been. I can't wait for Mason Greenwood. I can't wait for the additions. I don't know who, because at this point, it doesn't seem like anything is moving. We only got that information about Olise, that he's United is his target, and I don't know. I'm now starting to be not convinced. We seem to be going for positions that we don't um, really need to be strengthening. We need to strengthen our midfield. We need a defensive midfielder and a normal midfielder. We need at least two. We need two defenders. We need at least three fullbacks. We need another striker. Do you see? Are we going to get all these players? I don't think so. I don't. But we definitely need two centre backs. We need Luke Shaw and Malasia. Like, that is a concern. We need a left back. We can't keep doing this thing with Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. Dalot and Wan-Bissaka we should stop thinking about a right back, because we keep thinking we want a right back. Let's stop, because we've got two who can do the job, who are doing it. You know, I loved when Wan-Bissaka and Dalot were coming in for each other. It made sense. When and it, I swear to you, listen to this. When Dalot was injured, Wan-Bissaka stepped up. When Wan-Bissaka got injured, you guys were so glad Dalot came back and he stepped up. They always fed off of each other. They've got that thing. I think we should stop thinking about a right back. Really, 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 really. Dalot's young, Wan-Bissaka is young. Stop. Left back position. That's where the issue is. Luke Shaw is injury prone. Luke Shaw has been on the chopping table for I don't know how long. He's been in and out. But then, of course, he's had his moments where but then that is a concern. Malasia, which I will jump into in another episode, has also had another issue. So we need to we need a new left back. We don't see United looking to buy a new left back. I don't see us talking about a left back. Casemiro looks like he's aging. I don't know. We want to get rid of him, but are we thinking about replacing him? These are all the questions that we ask. The team, even with Ineos coming in, it still seems like the Glazers are still at the wheel. It seems like they're still controlling and calling the shots. So I don't know. For the first time, my boy asked me today, this morning, he asked me, bro, what's going on with our club? And I was just like, my brother, I don't know. And then I gave him lists. I was like, dude, look at this injury, bro. 24, 25 pairings the whole season. Then you look at the bench, youngsters who are ready to replace whoever gets injured in that back line. It's crazy. And for you fans to ignore it and continue to shit on the manager is not fair. It's truly, truly not fair. The style of play is not there. Yes, there is no style of play. We have no identity. That's because we're having a very chaotic season. Last season, we had some sort of style of play. We were playing high line and we were pressing teams. There was a style of play. We were pressing from the front. We were not scared of chasing back because we had the likes of Licha who are good on the ball, Varane who has got speed, Wan-Bissaka and Dalot there to handle Luke Shaw, Roberto Carlos doing his thing. You know what I mean? We were comfortable. We are not comfortable this season. So that's where we are at. So thank you everyone for listening. I know it is not the happy and joyful episode that we are in, but we are heading for dark times. It's not good. And the only people that can get us out of this or give us a glimmer of hope or a glimmer of hope are the players. The players need to be, you know, I am jealous to mention this, but that documentary for Man City, that is the blueprint. You want to be successful, all the players need to be on the same page. Manchester United is dysfunctional. It is it is fucking dysfunctional. Nobody likes anybody. Everybody is out there for themselves. Nobody cares about this team. Just a few players. But a few players is not enough to build and have a united team. It's not enough. It is not enough. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to like, click, share this video with some of your friends, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.